Tap the screen, tell your friends, okay? This talks about God. If you're not a God person, that's all right. Just think of the idea, the concept of God. I'm not a God person per se either, but I've got God all in my life, as you can tell, right? But it's really just the idea. It's the act of living a spiritual life. It's the act of practicing faith, right? And as I read, I start to get more passionate. Just know that that's not anger. It's not me trying to convince you. It's not me trying to manipulate you. It's not me thinking I'm right and you're wrong. It's passion. That's all it is simply passion. Because I come from the trenches. I come from under the bridge with the brown paper bag. I come from shitting myself drunk. I come from prison. I come from molestation. I come from the foster system. And here I live a beautiful life. Over a decade later, clean and sober. Really? Are you serious? I tried to find it, man, and they wanted like $300 from New York, right? So I come from the walks of life where people think it's impossible to recover and get out of there, right? And today I live comfortably. I live eye level with everybody else. Today I raised my son to have a happy, joyous, and free life. Today I'm successful, and it's not because of all the house and the money and all. Today I'm successful because I know how to live within the day. Happily. I know how to handle situations that used to baffle me. I know how to manage and organize my life around me with the help of this power that flows in when I get out of the way. Right? That's the thing, because the way I grew up, it embedded me with false pretenses. It embedded me with fear. It embedded me with anxiety and ego and guilt and shame and remorse. I was just weighed down by all this stuff. And I removed all that with the work that I did in the 12-step program. It cleared it all away. Now I have a clear vision, right? Now I'm here to share my experience with you to help you pull out of that, or to let you know it's possible. This is simply a daily reflections, part of the 12-step program. It's going to teach you and talk about conceptions, spiritual conceptions that will help you throughout your day-to-day living, and that's the only goal. So if there's anything that really bothers you when I'm talking about it, just lay it aside. Lay aside the prejudice, okay? That way new things can come in. Don't let it block you from listening to the rest of it, all right? I know at the same time rehab that helped mold my recovery, now I share hope with my clients. Yeah, absolutely. Rehab helps a lot of people, okay? A lot of people also go to many, many rehabs. And then those people end up in the program I work, because it didn't work. And so, anyways, help is help, period, right? If somebody is trying to go out there and serve someone else and help someone else, it's good. It takes what it takes also, okay? What's up, Deer Hunter? So I'm gonna say a quick prayer real quick, okay? And this prayer just gets me outside of my head long enough to have a new experience, because I've read this book 100 times, all right? And I want to have a new experience every time I read it, okay? God, please enable me to set aside everything I think I know for a new experience and an open mind. Please allow me to see the truth I'm going to be reading in this book. Please allow me to have that experience with that truth, and allow my followers to set aside everything they think they know so they can keep an open mind and have a new experience. Please allow them to hear the truth that's coming out of my mouth. All right, you guys, are you ready? Let's do it. Barbie, thank you for tapping the screen unapologetically. Me, tap the screen. Please stick around. Please join us. All right. Deer Hunter, welcome. All right. October 29th. Our survival. You guys can hear me fine, right? Sorry, I can drink my coffee now. Well, it's not really coffee, it's straight espresso. Our survival. Since recovery from alcoholism, drug addiction, sex addiction, gambling addiction, rage, fear, right? That can all encompass, okay? Since recovery, whatever you're struggling with, relate that to whatever you're struggling with, is life itself to us. Recovery from alcoholism is life itself to us. Because when I am suffering with alcoholism, I'm dying on the inside. It's a slow and painful death. I may have died years ago, and I'm constantly fighting life, trying to make it back, trying to get a breath of air, and I can't. And I don't know why, and I don't even realize I'm dying. Alcoholism is one of the diseases that tell you don't even have it. Everything's going to be fine. But actually you're dead inside, even if the outside world looks like it's okay. Since recovery from alcoholism is life itself to us, so once I realize what the reality is of my condition, once I learn the truth of what alcoholism is, ISM at the end of alcohol. It's got nothing to do with alcohol. Alcoholism is I see me. It's a self-absorption. It's a spiritual malady that I suffer from. It's the internal condition that I suffer from. And I take a drink or a drug or I gamble or and it makes me feel better temporarily. And I think that that's the answer. But then I do it in excess and I cause problems. Now I think that's the problem. But actually the problem preceded the drink or the drug. I don't know how to live comfortably. I'm broken. I'm broken of spirit, mind, and body, right? And so alcoholism encompasses that brokenness of spirit, mind, and body. It happens and it's present before drinking. And I can quit drinking for a decade and still be suffering with alcoholism. People do it all the time. I bury friends all the time. They find a reason sufficient enough to pick up a drink. Thank you, love. Because they weren't treating the internal condition for year after year after year. And everybody was patting them on the back, telling them it's going to be okay, or listening to their one-liners, thinking that they've got it. They've made it, and they go home and they sit in silence. And they're miserable. And they can no longer go on like this. They need relief from what? They need relief from themselves, from their spiritual malady that is broken, that they quit treating. Wow, that's powerful, right? Alcohol and drugs is actually the solution. It's temporary, but it's the solution for the internal condition, right? Mind, body, and soul. Okay? So once I realize the truth about that, right, and I make it out of that, and I see a little glimmer of hope, I listen to a guy like me. I sit in a meeting full of people that get their kids back. I sit in a meeting full of men that get their jobs back. I sit in a family meeting where the families are getting back together, and I see the miracles happening. Now I got a little bit of hope that there's life. I got a little bit of hope and understanding that I've been dying, right? So now, since recovery from alcoholism is life itself to us, it is imperative that we preserve in full strength our means of survival. Everything I just discussed with you before even reading that sentence, right, is exactly the reason why they end up in that position. I've got 4 friends in my home group meeting, 6:30 a.m. meeting down in Sacramento, California. I got 4 friends. All of them had 20 plus years clean and sober. The day of COVID, or in the COVID epidemic, when that happened, they found a reason sufficient enough to pick up another drink. 20 plus years sober. None of them made it back. None of them. Why would that happen after they've been sober for so long? Because they got mad at Zoom. Because they couldn't do the online stuff. Because they quit doing what was working. Because they weren't working anything in the beginning. They weren't treating the internal condition on a daily basis in the beginning. They've been sitting around that room for years with untreated alcoholism. But nobody will tell them the truth because they care more about them liking them than they do about telling them the truth that'll save their life. Right? That's what I'm here for. The honesty expressed by the members of AA, NA, CA, GA, FA. Like I said, if you don't relate, just remove it, okay? The honesty expressed by the members of AA in meetings has the power to open my mind. All right. What about that honesty? I remember the day that I sat in a meeting and I heard a man, a grown-ass man. Hell yeah, Lily, I'm proud of you, love. I heard a grown-ass man sitting at a podium. You guys grab Lily, show her some love, all right? I heard him say that he was molested. Cutting, baffling, and powerful. That's right. A grown man like me, I think I was sober 3 or 4 years at that point, 3 years maybe, and I was scared to talk about that, right? But that man shared an honest experience from a freaking podium about being molested, and it gave me the courage to open up and share that experience, right? And so that brought me into a new dimension, and I had been sober for a while. I was already doing the deal. So every experience is going to happen again. Like, I need everything I ever hear. I need to be there everywhere I ever am, right? I need to be present. I need to actually listen. I got a new set of ears. You know, you never know what you're going to be exposed to. But if you expose yourself long enough, thank you for the follow, love, then you may hear whatever it is that's going to change your life. I'll say one more thing about that. September 1st of 2012, I had just got caught drinking. And I was in felony drug court. I had a 13-year prison sentence over my head at 80%. I had a health condition with a blood clotting disorder, pulmonary embolisms. And if I drank, I would ruin the blood thinners that I was taking, and I would end up having a heart attack or a stroke. That's the reason. That's what helped me get to my bottom. Yet I was still drinking. I just threw the medicine away. And I'm in felony drug court. And I walked I got caught doing it, obviously. And I walked and talked to my felony drug court lady. And she said, Sean, go to 5 meetings a week instead of 3. And that was her discipline. That's it. Right? That's it. And you don't relapse in her program and get another chance. So I got a slap on the wrist one more time. My eyes balled. My heart fell to my shoes. And I swore to God I was going to be different. Swore to God. And I walked into a meeting. I was late, and the lady said, if you're looking for a manager of your own life, would you hire yourself to do it again? Hell no! I would not hire myself to do it. She said, you might as well leave it up to a higher power. Wow. I heard what that lady said. Had I been a minute late or a minute early, I would have never heard that. I heard what she said. I sat down. I shut up. I quit arguing all the stuff on the wall. I quit fighting everything. I just said, I need help. What can I do differently? Show me the way. Show me the way. And I did what they did. And here I sit, 12 years clean and sober. I haven't thought about a drink once, not once. I started living that day, and had I not been exposed to her message, I would have never, ever had that chance. Well, I could have, but it would have never happened like it did, right? So you never know what you're going to be exposed to, but you gotta start listening. Listen with intent. Thank you so much. Listen with intent, not listen to respond. That's what most of us do. I'm already 2 answers ahead when you're trying to talk, Listen with intent. So that's part of that internal condition. Let me read that sentence again, okay? The honesty expressed by the members of AA in meetings has the power to open my mind. So now my mind is open. I didn't know the obsession had left me until 6 months later. There's the humility in that. Right? If I think I know right away, I'm probably boasting and bragging. And I'm sorry, it's cute. But for the alcoholic, it's deadly. Because if I think I have the answer, I can't possibly be seeking the right path of humility. Right? A man came up and said, Sean, what's wrong? Something's different about you. 6 months, his name's Richie Vigil. He had a heart attack, unfortunately. Sean, something's different about you. You quit arguing everything. You're quiet now. It's been 6 months. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm fine. Everything's great. And that's when it all fell together for me. God had done something for me I couldn't do for myself. And that's the experience we seek. Okay? Nothing can block the flow of energy that honesty carries with it. That power of honesty it's not cash register honesty. I'm talking about, hey, I cheated on my wife. I didn't do that, and this is the lesson I learned, and here's the experience I had, and this is the solution, and this is what I promised not to do. Or, hey, yeah, me too. I've been right where you've been, right? Or, hey, I don't know. Some of the most powerful situations I've ever been in is I don't know, right? Surrender to high power, amen, yeah. And I can surrender over and over. I also got to be ready to listen. I got to change my course of action. I got to act my way into sober thinking, right? Right? There's a concept, and this is argumentative, Mama Ellie, but it's not towards you, right? This is just a concept I'm going to express, okay? The concept of God saving me. It's not true. God was there the whole time. God never left. He's never gone anywhere. This concept of God, he was always deep down inside every man, woman, and child. Fundamental idea of God. He was right here, okay? I left, okay? I did this. I avoided it. I moved, right? God can speak through someone and help me, for sure. But I need to do the footwork that lines up with his help, right? Hell yeah. No, for sure, right? It's a touchy subject, and that's okay. That's why it's more like, hey, expose yourself, keep an open mind, because there is no one idea of God, right? You don't have to know that, you know what I mean? Hell yeah. Thank you so much, you guys, for participating. Tap the screen, share the live. You never know who we may help together, okay? The only obstacle to this flow of energy, so we're talking about the energy of someone sharing their truth with you, their honesty. The only obstacle to this flow of energy is inebriation. But even then, no one will find a closed door if he or she has left and chooses to return. Man, that's beautiful. You know, I've sat in so many meetings. Let me read this one more time. I'm a probation officer and deal with so many struggling with yeah, I understand. You have to put in the work. Yeah, for sure. For sure. And you got to put in the work somebody else's way. That's the trick, right? That's what people don't want to say. They don't want to tell you, listen, you can't fix yourself. I was 8 years old. I went to prison for a year. 8 years old. I got out. I swore to God I was going to be different. My heart had changed. And I got right back to the streets. And I tried to do what I thought I was going to do, what was right. 12 years old, I started blacking out. 16 years old, I got a DUI. 17 DUI, 18 DUI. But I was a great kid. I was a really good man. Right? I was an honest, relatively honest person. Right? But I didn't know that I had to do it somebody else's way. I had to maybe take my dad's suggestions. Maybe learn to live a different path. Maybe listen to the counselors. Maybe listen to the probation officers, right? Instead, you got this. Self-help. Self-help don't work for guys like me. I tried. I got to get out of the damn way. I've done enough damage. I got to try somebody else's way. Yes. God, what an amazing thing. Probation officer, that sounds amazing. What's up, Alaskan mom, right? Okay, so this last line was important, and I'm going to read it again because I forgot. I got sidetracked. Thank you guys for putting up with me, okay? Once he or she has received, nope, that's the only obstacle. Okay, the obstacle is the flow of energy is inebriation. So I've been in a lot of meetings where a drunk comes in. Oh my God, what is he doing here? Like, where the hell, where's he supposed to be? He's a drunk. He is drunk. Now, as long as he's not harming us or causing problems, God, I hope he sits in that chair. Man, I pray that I'm going to go give him a hug and tell him I love him, and I'm going to give him my card, my phone number, let him know it's going to be okay, right? And then I'm going to wait until he's sober to try to really help him because his mind is clouded, just like it can be clouded with resentment, with fear, with jealousy, with anger, with pomp, with worship of other things. The mind can be clouded. Your soul can be sick, and the mind clouded without a drink too. Right? But they are welcome. I just hope they come back again. Right? Because if my vision is blurry, I'm never going to hear what you have to say. My vision is going to be blurry so long as I continue to hang on to those resentments, harboring those resentments. My vision is always going to be blurry so long as I suffer with untreated alcoholism. Get others involved too with alcohol. Yes, absolutely. Yes, alcoholism affects every person you've ever met. You can go into a mall of 300 people and ask everybody if they have any experience with someone who's an alcoholic. They will all say yes. And the problem is the loved ones closest to us try so hard to save us, try so hard to motivate us. They try so hard to love us enough into recovery. They try so hard to understand it that they themselves become sick too. They put so much weight and bearing on trying to work it around you, trying to figure you out, trying to save you, trying to put up, that they themselves become spiritually sick too. And then they too need to clean their soul. They need to work the 12 steps or whatever process they decide to do, right? Because they are suffering emotionally just like us spiritually. They suffer with a spiritual malady. Yep. Yeah, Mama Ellie. It's tough. Al-Anon is very good. They have Al-Anon. They have Alateen. Okay, so those are for loved ones of alcoholics, loved teens of alcoholics, right? They also have Nar-Anon for Narcotics Anonymous. Okay, I don't know if they have Narateen. I've never looked into that before, right? So the mind is clouded while you're drinking, or the mind is clouded when you're thinking, when you're running the own show, right? And if your mind is clouded, you're not going to learn how to listen. You'll never be able to actually hear. You think you will, but you won't. Once he or she has received the gift of sobriety, this is something I struggle with, all right? And I'm going to tell you why. Once he or she receives the gift of sobriety, each AA, NA, whatever member is challenged on a daily basis to accept a program of honesty. Wow, that's kind of cool. That's talking about like me watching that person come in, right? And I've received the gift of sobriety, but I see that person, oh, he's in and out all the time, you know? Oh, he's just chasing women, right? Or, oh gosh, they smell like booze. Oh, they're not taking this seriously. We are judging. People judge. That's what people do. It's just the reality. Humans judge. If they tell you, oh, we're not judging here, they're full of shit. I'm glad people judged me when I came in. Had they not judged me, they would have never come to me to try to help. Had they not taken my inventory, they would have never known how to help. They would have never known what was wrong. They would have never known, right? So it's important for me to watch that person come in and realize that they are sick too. And the honesty part of it is I was once where they're at. That's the honesty. I need to realize, hey, I've been right where you are. Otherwise, I'm not going to be helpful. I'm not going to be helpful, right? Now, the gift of sobriety is the challenge. A gift is free. A gift is given to you with no effort at all. Okay? This is no gift. It isn't. It's a gift to wake up, yeah, right? Sobriety takes work. Okay? You work hard, you receive the gift. Right? So it's a weird construct, right? I mean, obviously it's a beautiful gift to live and have a free life for sure, but it takes work. And if I could just give you the gift of sobriety, I wouldn't. I wouldn't give it to you because I'm going to be robbing you of the experience. And I don't want to rob you of that experience, right? I hope you guys are all still here. Thanks for being here. I love you so much. Doesn't matter how many times you fall, as long as you get back up and keep going. That's right, one day at a time. My higher power created me for a purpose in life. I ask him to accept my honest effort to continue on my journey. In the spiritual way of life, I call on him for strength to know and seek his will. There's this idea that I know what God's will is. I hear it all the time. I once had a girlfriend a couple years back. I liked her so much. And it had only been a couple weeks, right? And I liked her so much. There's one experience I remember. We were driving down the road. And it was winter time. And me and my boy are so used to being by ourselves. And we got past this like 90-year-old lady trying to shovel her driveway. I stopped right then and there. Me and my boy went and shoveled it for her real quick and came back. And this beautiful girl that I liked so much looked at me and said, "Wow, you're so amazing. I'm so lucky." And my heart just sunk to my shoes, right? And then like, I take her on this date, right? It costs money, but I took her on a date. That's what I do. I could do it free. I could do it when it costs money. That's fine. I'm not out there to spend money. That's the date I wanted to take her on. And then she said, "You know, you don't have to spend money to impress me." And I said, "I'm not." The next day she said God told her that she should leave me. She knew what God's will was. God's will was that we should break up, you know. And that's the misconception. If I think I'm powerful enough to know what God's will is, I'm full of crap, right? But I could tell you in this spiritual way of living, I could tell you from my own experience what God's will is as far as the time of it. The time of it is the here and now. This right here, this moment, there's no better moment. This moment is God's will. What happens in the future, I have no idea. But when it happens, I know it was supposed to happen, right? And I know there's a lesson in it, okay? God's will is not something I can figure out. It's something that already happens, you know? And so, what is God's will for me to live in this spiritual life like we just read? It's what I'm doing right here, right now. My primary aim and chief reason for existence. That's a quote by Bill Wilson. Primary aim and chief reason for existence is to carry the message to other alcoholics, to help others. This is a process of not me, or finding me, or loving me more, or knowing more about me, or working through me, not for the alcoholic. It's the process of getting out of my own way, serving you, therefore as a byproduct, loving myself. It's like the St. Francis prayer. Everything I do outside of me will come right back. So if I want self-esteem, I'm going to do esteemable acts. If I want to love deep down inside myself, I'm not going to think more about me than love myself. I might say that, but it's not working. But if I can think about you and love you, I'm going to be full of love so much. I'm going to love myself so much more than I could have ever imagined. Thank you guys for listening to my spew. If you guys got any questions or comments about it, please don't hesitate. If you're new here, drop your first name in here. Tell us your sobriety date. I always look at this little number in the corner. It only says there's a couple people here at a time. I don't know if it's accurate or not. I feel like it's not because whenever I close the live, it'll say there's a bunch of people on there. I don't know how it works, but I'm here to get connected with you. I'm not here to be right. I'm not here to tell you you're wrong. I'm here to share my lived experience. But don't get it twisted. I love you right where you are, no matter who you are, no matter what path you choose, no matter what you're doing. I love you. I truly do. And I love you enough to tell you the truth, even if it hurts your feelings. Thank you guys so much.